Chapter 81. You are listening at novelfull.audio. ****. I would really like to stay here for a bit longer, but I guess we should be moving tonight, said Emeraldine. If the vampire that created them has a way to track them down no matter where they are, then it is possible he might send more of his dogs at us. The best we can do is hunt him down before anyone innocent is hurt, Lucifer suggested. Oh wow, you're so considerate of the inn. Did you like the receptionist? I asked. I don't even know her name. I am just being considerate because that aligns with your beliefs, right? Lucifer stuttered while crossing his arms. Right. So we'll do just that then, tonight. When the sun hits the horizon, and it disappears, we'll sneak into. Where is the scientist lab, by the way? I asked. I suppose we can lead you there, said Takashi. But, are you sure? They're strong. And that man. He was also powerful, despite not showing us his fighting style. Said Laura. That's certainly troublesome, but we'll get through it. At the very least, we tried, and if things get too dire, we make a quick escape through my shadow sneak, I said. I guess that's decided then, said Lucifer. For now, what should we do? Emeraldine asked. Aside from preparation, let's go shopping. I doubt that guy will send monsters in the middle of the day, straight in the middle of the streets, right? I said. Indeed, I don't believe he's that foolish, said Lucifer. So how about we go register at the Adventurer Guild? It's one of my isekai dreams. Also, we should go buy more food and get some better clothes for these two, I said, patting the kids on the head. Adventurer registration. But Maria, we are monsters. Lucifer said in disbelief. Just let me fulfill this stupid fantasy of mine, pretty please. We'll probably leave here in just a few days anyway. So, I want to enjoy it as much as I can. I also heard you can change jobs in the Adventurer Guild. Maybe Emeraldine wants to change jobs, am I right? And I also want to. I don't know if Maria can take jobs as you're an undead monster, but I suppose it is worth a shot, said Emeraldine. And just like that, after planning out our assault of completely annihilating an underground facility at night, we moved out of the inn, quickly cutting ties with these people here, so the guy targeting us doesn't suddenly kill innocents. We covered the kids with leather hoodies so their horns couldn't be seen. Although they had colorful eyes, the hoodies covered most of their noticeable parts, such as their hair and horns. The first thing we did was walk to a tailor and clothing shop, where we were greeted by a nice lady with long purple hair and an enchanting and seductive smile. Welcome to my humble store. Oh ho! Such a big band of handsome men and beautiful ladies. She said, eyeing all of us. She noticed the handsomeness of Lucifer and also our physical appearance. Do you need clothes? I have never sold clothes to such pretty people before, she said. Is that so? Well, we came here for some clothes for these two kids, I replied. I see. Can I see their faces? She asked. I would rather not show them. They're, very timid, I quickly made up an excuse. Well, I guess that's how it is. Come, I have some kid clothes that should match their size. The lady gave us a short trip around her large store of clothes. There was tons of fashion in this medieval age-inspired fantasy world, way more than I could have expected. I suppose the advancement of technology through magic does make this fantasy-like world look more modern than it really is. Anyway, the clothes were also not expensive, and they were made of nice fabric enchanted with magic for a greater resiliency. I bet all of you are adventurers. I see you're carrying weapons and equipment, so you gotta take these ones with sturdier resilience. There are also some beautiful dresses around here that have the auto-regeneration ability, but they're quite costly, she said while smoking what seemed to be a pipe with a fragrant herb. The lady was surprisingly nice, and we ended up paying around 100 gold coins for all the clothes we ordered. I went on a bit of a frenzy with the other two girls as we wanted to wear new clothes, and now that I had such a pretty appearance, I wanted to try all sorts of styles I had never tried in my previous life due to my complex as an ugly duckling. I ended up walking outside the store with a beautiful red dress and red heels, and I looked stunning. Emeraldine and partner also bought themselves some beautiful dresses. Emeraldine had a white summer-style dress with a summer hat and white sandals too. Partner, on the other hand, wanted something to help her easily move around, so she ordered a wine-colored skirt and a black shirt, alongside black stockings, and leather boots. And lastly, Lucifer got himself some simpler clothes, which were less lugubrious, but it still made him look like an overly handsome common man. For the kids, we got Laura some pants, as she disliked dresses and skirts. These pants were tight against her legs and helped her move faster around, while we also ordered her a big hoodie that seemed to be used by magicians. It had various engravements of golden and blue colors, while Takashi wore similar clothes, so they really looked like twins now. I can't believe you actually convinced me to get new clothes, sighed Lucifer. Huh, come on, relax for a bit and let's enjoy the day together, I said. I am a bit hungry, muttered Emeraldine. Envied it. Oh, it must be close to lunchtime, right? Let's go to that one cafeteria. Look, they have ice cream. I pointed. It seems that this world had many more tools than I initially thought, as they had a special artifact that made milk, cream, and sugar into ice cream. Chapter 82. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After our clothes shopping, we decided to take a break and go to a cafeteria I saw while walking through the town yesterday. This cafeteria had a big window up front that showed all kinds of pastries, cakes, and types of bread, just to make everyone who passed by drool. I couldn't miss this place. I'll take the challenge of eating every single cake and pastry they're selling. Oh, this place does look quite pretty, commented Emeraldine. Oh. Sweets, muttered partner. Should we really waste our time here? Sighed Lucifer. Come on, grumpy dragon, enjoy life a bit, I said. You know that we are not even alive, right? But fine, I want a meat sandwich anyway. I don't really like sweets, he gave in. Hee, good choice. We rushed inside the cafeteria, which was mostly empty at this hour of the day, but I bet it was filled in the morning. Welcome to Cafeteria Hardy. A cute young girl with pink-colored hair tied into pigtails greeted us as we glanced at the interior of the place. They seem to bake the bread and make the cakes all in here. I could clearly smell the scent of baked bread behind the doors right at the counter. Would you like to buy something to take out? If not, I invite you to sit down and relax. I'll bring you the menu, said the girl. Oh yeah, thanks a lot, dear, I said as we went and sat down around a large table with enough space for all of us. The girl quickly rushed back with cups of fresh water, which had a slice of lemon and even some ice cubes. This means that this world is advanced enough to have artifacts that can produce ice. I see magic can really replace technology by quite a large margin. It would be dumb to think that they had not invented ways to use it to ease their daily lives in all these years. Here's the menu. Whenever you have decided what you want, just call me, said the girl rather carefreely, as she gave each one of us a menu to look at. I began to read it and found that everything was beautiful and delicious. There were several illustrations of every single thing. They had ice creams of only natural cream flavor, but they added fruits and cookies into them as well, making all sorts of sundae-like ice cream preparations. There were also all sorts of delicious cakes, sweet spongy cakes with white cream and various varieties with fruit slices on top or in between the layers of the cake. Disappointingly though, there wasn't chocolate cake. Does chocolate cake not exist in this world? Is there anything with chocolate? I asked. Chocolate, I have never heard of such a thing, she said. Ack, what kind of infernal world is this? No chocolate. You're kidding me. Damn. Well, the rest of the stuff all looks yummy, so I'll take most of it. Almost everyone had made their decision, but partner still seemed a bit confused, so I decided to just share with her all the stuff I was going to buy. The kids were also confused as they saw the prices of the things and felt a bit intimidated. That everything is so pricey," muttered Laura. "Can we really afford it? We have already asked for so many things from Nei-sama," sighed Takashi. "Don't feel indebted to me. Ask anything you want. I just want you two to have a nice day for once," I said. The two looked at me with emotional expressions on their faces before their eyes suddenly shone with glee. In the end, the two asked for 2 sundaes, 2 sandwiches, warm milk, and wild berry cake slices. "I want grilled meat seasoned with herbs and a cheesecake." "Oh, and the most bitter coffee you can find," said Lucifer. "Very well," the girl took all our orders and quickly ran away. "I wonder if there's no chocolate in this world, then where did the coffee come from?" I wondered. Coffee. It is a special seed once brought by a hero of ancient times, perhaps 10,000 years ago. The last war against the Demon King must have happened almost 1,000 years ago, so, Lucifer muttered. "Wow, that's an ancient one. So I guess a person from another world recreated the coffee seed, somehow. And they didn't recreate chocolate. What was he, an idiot?" I shouted. "I've actually heard of chocolate seeds before. But it was said that the candy produced from them was so precious and delicious that the 5 kingdoms once waged war for it, and the seeds were lost in history," Lucifer explained. What? To think that chocolate would cause wars in this world. Well, I would also wage war if I could get my hands onto a silky and smooth chocolate bar. Only after half an hour of waiting, the girl quickly began to bring all sorts of stuff towards the table. The cake slices were brought first as it was already done, then the sandwiches, and lastly, all the ice cream. And we began to dig in. Lucifer bit the massive sandwich he ordered, his eyes clearly showed some surprise. "This sauce. It's so citric, yet it is also creamy and sweet, it goes so well with the grilled and flavorful, juicy meat slices. The tomatoes, lettuce, and cheese, it has also gone excellently together." What is this?" he asked. First time eating a sandwich. I have definitely eaten one before. But this is, way beyond what I had tasted back then," he muttered. He then proceeded to devour the whole sandwich on a whim and asked for seconds and then thirds. After that, he tasted the delicious cheesecake and was left just as speechless. So spongy and cheesy, this sweetness is also not too overwhelming, yet it is so good. It goes so well with this bitter coffee as well," he cried out. He's very excited," laughed Emeraldine. Meanwhile, partner was eating everything rather wildly, stuffing her cheeks with tons of food. "Nom. Delicious," she shouted after drinking tons of coffee to wash it all down. The kids then began to eat the ice cream first. It was deliciously creamy and so cold, and the fresh fruit on the side went so well with the cookies added into the sundaes. So many flavors. I moaned in pleasure. Chapter 83. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yua. I never thought I would get to eat so much delicious food in this medieval world of harsh discrimination, battles, and so on. I guess there is a face to this society, which I had been completely missing this whole time. Perhaps it is really possible to lay down and have a leisureful life after everything is done. Enjoying the life of this world and the delicious plates I can find here and there, building up my own farm, and having a dreamy slow life like in those popular slow life genre isekai novels. That would certainly be like a dream. And the best thing is that even as a ghost, I can still eat, taste, and enjoy food. Fuihi, materialization, is the best skill there is. It lets me enjoy the pleasures of the flesh even as a phantasmal entity. The sundae was so sweet, creamy, and refreshing. I couldn't help but moan a bit in pleasure. Also, the cookies were buttery and crunchy, the fruit was fresh and juicy, and with the coldness of the ice cream, everything went so well together, a great combination of flavors. After devouring my sundae, I moved on to several slices of cake and pies. The cakes were spongy and sweet, and the cream filling them had all sorts of fruits. The cakes were sorted accordingly to the fruits and the cream they had inside, which was so soft and sweet it felt like I was eating clouds. And the pies, oh God, the pies. They had a variety of them. Each one was so buttery and delicious. The textures of the crust were like soft buttery cookies, and the eggy cream inside went amazing with the wild berries. There was also chiffon cheesecake, which was spongy and cloudy. It was really such a unique experience. Would you believe if I told you I had not even eaten this much of a variety of cake before when I was on Earth? It was completely mesmerizing. Ah! And then, the delicious sandwiches. The bread was just baked, and it was still warm. The strips of grilled meat inside were well cooked to perfection, as they had a delicious juiciness to them. They had some kind of sauce coating them as well, making them slightly spicy and flavorful, but just enough to make the bread absorb its juices like a sponge. But that wasn't the only sauce, as there was one that was made of tomatoes, similar to ketchup, but sweeter, and then there was also one similar to citric yogurt sauce. It all went together with fresh leaves of cabbage and slices of tomatoes, and the cheese was also nice, mildly melted by the heat of the meat itself. They sadly didn't sell beer, but the cold fruit juice and the tea that they served us was also amazing. I didn't want coffee because I don't like bitter stuff, but these cold drinks went amazingly well with the sandwiches. It was such a good experience that we all ended up very happy. And in fear that we might be forced to leave this place after shit hit the fan, I decided to purchase everything in the damn cafeteria using half our funds, which were all from our beloved merchant sponsor. The girl in the cafeteria was left speechless alongside the two chefs that cooked and made the cakes behind the doors. All three of them bowed their heads, thanking us for our purchase, as they probably believed we were of the high society or something. Not like it bothers me. After that, we sneaked onto a street without people and saved all the bags of stuff we bought inside of my inventory. In there, they will be kept fresh for us to eat whenever we want. We bought so many things that even by eating as gluttonously as we do, it will last at least a week or two. These days will be filled with many flavors, as we even purchased all the ice cream and the fresh fruits, and over 100 pre-made sandwiches alongside those sauces they used. Having secured our meals for several days in the future, we decided to slowly make our way into the Adventurer Guild, which was a large building in the middle of town, filled with people traveling in and out of it constantly. Phew, that was so good. Sighed Emeraldine in relief. That was perhaps the best meal I've had in a while. Muttered Lucifer, admitting that everything was amazing. Yummy, partner muttered, and her belly was a bit fat due to how much food she consumed. I've never eaten something so tasty in this world before. Thank you so much, Lady Maria, said Laura. You're the best, Auntie, said Takashi. The two kids hugged me tightly, only reaching up to my stomach, but it was comfortable to be hugged by two cute kids. My motherly instincts were kicking in as I embraced them as well. I am glad you had your fun. Now let's go the Adventurer Guild to investigate how they do this stuff, I said. Are you sure? There's a lot of people inside, said Takashi. Yeah, Laura added. Don't worry, I am using my abilities to conceal my true presence, so there shouldn't be any issue. Lucifer can also do the same using magic, partner as well. Emeraldine will cover us and make us seem like a normal party because of how normal she looks, I comforted them. I don't think she looks normal, muttered Laura. She's way too bright. As if the hair on her head produced a halo of light, said Takashi. Ha! I do. Asked Emeraldine. Actually, now that I see you up close, you really look like some kind of heroic priestess elf from a novel, I said. A novel. Are you sure you were not blessed by some god of light? Asked Lucifer. I didn't. I just evolved into this. Emeraldine replied. Well, no worries, dear, let's go in. If things don't work, we can always make a swift escape, I said. You're overly confident as usual. But, fine, sighed Lucifer. We stepped into the Adventurer Guild and were greeted by dozens of stares right away. Chapter 84. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bonjour. I greeted everyone within the Adventurer Guild as they looked at us with intense stares. Bon. What? Muttered a guy near us as I pet his head. Ack. He disliked it, but I didn't care. We continued walking while I smiled brightly at everyone. But I was actually very nervous because there were so many people looking at us. There was a loud ruckus inside, but when we entered, everything suddenly calmed down by way too much. Seriously, am I such a beauty? Our group made its way to the front as a girl with short purple hair and 2 horns popping from her head greeted us. Wait, horns. Even Lucifer was left surprised. Welcome to the Adventurers Guild. Do you need something? She asked. Girl. Are you a magen? Asked Lucifer. Magen, some people think that because of my hair color, but I am actually a sheep-kin beast. Person. See. The girl suddenly showed us the hooves of her feet as she was obviously not wearing shoes. Additionally, she had a fluffy tail on her back, popping out of her tight black pants. Oh, we all sighed. We had thought, faintly, for a few seconds, that magen were seen as people. Please don't say the name of magen lightly around here. Those people are considered monsters, and there are many extremists that might call you out if you ever show any interest in them, said the girl. She wasn't rude but tried to warn us about other people who might get butthurt or toxic over us, saying the mere word, magen. But Major Gu. I covered Lucifer's mouth before he was to say anything else. As I smiled back, Emeraldine moved before me. We came here to register. I am already registered, but I lost my card, so I would like to get a new one and also change jobs. These people too want to register and change jobs afterward if it is possible, of course, Emeraldine spoke up. Oh, I see. What's your name? Let me check if you're here, asked the receptionist, as she took out a strange artifact that resembled a grimoire. The grimoire began to flash with many letters and lights that emerged from its pages. Emeraldine Verdantwood Naturia, let's see. Ah, there you are. Very well, you seem quite different, said the receptionist. I've undergone evolution recently. But please keep this a secret, whispered Emeraldine. Evolution, it is very rare for elves to evolve. I see. Very well. A new adventurer card would cost approximately 10 gold coins. We can also upgrade it if you have grown stronger, but we would require doing a test first. In addition, a high-rank quest could be completed if you feel like you're up for the task, said the receptionist. Well, I am fine with a new one for now. I can take a quest later, said Emeraldine. Very well then. Emeraldine gave the girl 10 gold coins, and then, the girl conjured some runes into another artifact, and a brand-new bronze card emerged out of it, shining brightly. It had the photo of Emeraldine on it, alongside her basic info and the letter F on it as she was an F.rank adventurer. The job-changing room is right to the left. Feel free to visit there, said the girl. Thank you. I'll go after my friends are registered, said Emeraldine. Okay then. Let's start with you, miss. What's your complete name? Occupation. What are you good at? Magic, physical fighting, or are you a merchant looking for an adventurer license for trading opportunities and easier access to other duchies? Asked the girl, spitting so many questions it made my head spin. I am a magician. Good at shadow and dark magic. Name's Maria Fuentes Bells. You can call me Mary, I said. Maria Fuentes Bells. Funny, that name is quite similar to something I have on the tip of my tongue, said the girl. Must be your imagination, I said. All right, and done. To successfully register, you need to pass an exam with an instructor here. It is a small fight just so we can get a better look at the abilities you have and if they're authentic. Got it, said the girl. Yeah. Can you do the same with everyone else within our party so we can go take a test all together? I asked. Sure thing. The girl quickly registered everyone. I had asked partner if she wanted a new name, but she refused reluctantly, so she was registered as partner Fuentes Bells. What a peculiar name, but oh well, there had been people named Potato before. Farmer families often have a very bad naming sense, muttered the girl. There was someone named Potato. I asked. Why? Yeah, I guess I am not as terrible with naming as I thought. There are actually people much worse than me. Lucifer registered himself with his two family names, which were Draken and Darkscale, which were also unusual. After that, the kids were also registered. She had said that anyone above 12 could register, so we said they were both 13, but just small. And surprisingly, it worked when the girl heard the two kids talk very eloquently. After we were all ready, we moved towards the test area which was in the backyard of the guild building. It was actually right next to an open field of grass with a few trees here and there. A tall and muscular instructor greeted us. It was a half-giant man with the name of Borgadon. He was around 2 meters tall, a true behemoth in height. These are the new recruits. Very well, one by one, you come and fight me. Use everything you have, no problem. I'll go all out from the start, too, so don't hold back if you don't want to die, ha ha ha. He laughed. He was rather malicious looking. Don't mind him. He might seem evil, but he's a kind-hearted man that always brings me ice cream, said the girl who we learned was named Venia. Venia, stop telling that to every recruit. Oh. Our relationship should be strictly hidden from the public, said the man. But dear, I don't like when you act too intimidating, sighed Venia. It is so they can grow some courage, shouted the half-giant man. I guess they're a cute couple. Chapter 85. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. What a cute couple. Now kiss, I announced. Shut up. You. Come at me, roared the instructor as he had enough and got pissed off. All right. We are starting then, I asked, walking near him. Yeah, you can come whenever you want to, he said confidently. His entire physique was suddenly shrouded in a powerful magical aura that enhanced his muscles and strength. Also, his blade shone with a red-hot aura, as if it was being covered in searing flames. I checked his stats. He was as strong as a D-rank monster, perhaps one at its peak. He was definitely on the stronger side and was probably an instructor within that rank too. Don't really have to, I muttered as I waved my staff and shadow tentacles emerged from within his own shadow. While we spoke, I also extended my shadows almost as thin as invisible threads and connected them to his, taking over his own shadow and using them against him, a pretty easy and normal trick to do. What the? The half-giant man had shadow tentacles wrapped around his legs and torso, and he used his blade to try and cut them off by force. But my shadows were stronger. I just infused more mana into them and reinforced them through materialization. Such strong magic power. Venia muttered as she was extremely surprised. Wag. I can't even move, cried the half-giant as he suddenly overcharged his weapon with mana and threw a powerful slashing attack at me. Clash. I stopped the attack by generating a materialization of shadows, a shadow barrier. Oi. That could easily kill a normal rookie, you know. I thought impossible. How strong are you? He muttered, completely dumbfounded. Pretty strong. I flew towards him and used my bare fist to knock him out with a nice punch to the chin. I am actually weak physically, but he's a whole rank below me, so let's see how far I can go. I reinforced and materialized my fist even more before punching him in the chin. Clash. Graye. Boom. He fell onto the ground, barely keeping his consciousness awake. I have to praise his resiliency. Must be the giant blood in his veins. Ag. You pass, he sighed. That's what I wanted to hear. I moved aside from the scene while cleaning my hands. Lady Mary, how strong are you exactly? Asked Venia. Huh. I don't know, I shrugged. I better not reveal any more than she has already seen. You, don't know? She asked, still dumbfounded. Emeraldine healed the instructor as he gained a second wind and began to pretend that the humiliation he suffered beforehand never happened. Partner was next, and as he looked at her, he smiled cheekily. She only held her spear with a single hand and didn't even have armor. So you're a spear fighter. But you're not even wearing armor? Asked the half-giant as he rushed towards her and attacked, using his blade to unleash slashing attacks at her continuously. Slash. 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 However, Partner moved at a supernatural speed, evading his attacks incredibly precisely, and she even jumped onto the tip of his blade and used the handle of the spear to hit the half-giant's neck. Clash. Wag. Boom. The hit was strong, and he fell onto his face, which slammed against the ground. This. You pass, he gave up more quickly than with me. The truth was, Partner contained herself by quite a lot. Most of her attacks are very deadly, such as absorbing blood, or slashing with the blade of the spear, which is venomous, so she did a pretty good job at not endangering the life of the man. He was healed once more as Lucifer was next. The half-giant finally thought he could showcase some more of his strength as Lucifer looks like a skinny and small man in comparison to him. However, the result came quicker than we expected. Lucifer punched his stomach, and the half-giant groaned in pain before falling to the ground. He had hit a special sensitive spot he knew humanoids possessed within the stomach, almost crushing a core of the half-giant's mana veins. After that came the kids, and here we all got a bit nervous as they were going to definitely lose. The instructor allowed them both to fight at the same time because he underestimated them, as they were mere children. I mean, their stats were clearly below him and all, and they were kids, so it was realistic for him to assume that, but surprisingly, the two knew how to fight at least one big man, and thanks to the weakened state of Lucifer who Emeraldine didn't heal this time, the kids used their abilities to make him trip to the ground. Takashi used his fishing rod to wrap the thread around his legs and tightly pressed them together. After that, Julia used her detonation to blast an explosive punch on the man's crotch. Thankfully, he didn't suffer any damage to his libido, but the pain knocked him to the ground. Hopefully he can still have children later. The entire performance left the two speechless, and we got ourselves our adventure medals faster than we expected. And after that came another thing, moving to the job-changing room. It was nice to know that the adventurers in this world can't actually see your status because, well, they simply can't. Although there are ways to see other people's personal info, only a part of their true status can be given out, and the Adventurer Guild here had no such methods as they simply registered what they saw you were capable of. And to rank up, you had to complete higher-ranked missions, as simple as that. I moved to the job-changing room, a small room that had a sphere made of emerald crystal. It looked plain and ordinary, but Venia said that just touching it would allow a person to see a list of jobs they could change into, which was based on their specializations. It is said that monsters cannot change jobs and that it was a gift of the gods to the humans/demi-humans, and this is why they need a crystal to access it, so I don't know if this will work or not. But here goes nothing. Chapter 86. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It is said that jobs are a gift from the gods for the humans/demi-humans who need to fight against monsters and fiends generated by the fragments of the Dark God and also from the dungeons made by the Chaos God. Due to this, it is believed that monsters can't change jobs, and it has also been proven when tamers had tried using their monsters to change jobs. I've investigated as much within the memories of the souls I've eaten, and I've gotten as much info from them to assume such things. But well, Majin are also believed to be monsters, and they can still change jobs. That's because they're actually demi-humans, and they do indeed count as people and not monsters, even if they can evolve and have varied morphologies, but the same can be said of beast-kin as they come in all shapes and sizes. Even giants are considered people, and those can go up to 3.5 meters, which is inhumane. So can I get a job, or not? Technically, I shouldn't be able to as I am a ghost, an undead monster. We don't count as any kind of humanoid being, despite looking and once being a person. I don't know if Lucifer's dragon race, Partner's damper race, or the kid's homunculus race count, but I'm hoping they can. Dragons were not seen as monsters before, so they might be part of the demi-human race, but they're way too ancient and rare to guess it accurately. Dampirs could be seen as a lesser version of vampires, which are Majin, and can change jobs, I believe. So yeah, perhaps, or perhaps not. And homunculus. I really don't know. But here goes nothing. I touched the crystal and... nothing. Come on. I angrily slapped the crystal, and it suddenly released a strong shock of green-colored lightning into my hands. Zap. Spark. The lightning covered my body as I felt a sudden shock of power reach my very soul. Right after that, I saw several holographic windows emerge before me. The system, unique skill special function has been activated, analyzing, extracting, copying, and pasting new, system function. Wait, hold on. What's going on now? I had almost forgotten that my own system is not exactly the same as everyone, who can only see their status through something named soul records or whatever. I don't remember the full name now. Flash. The bright light of the crystal suddenly encompassed my body. I couldn't help but scream a little bit in surprise. Success, job system, has been analyzed and assimilated, you can now change jobs, huh? That easy. Ding. Available job options: Apprentice Warrior, Apprentice Swordsman, Apprentice Magician, Apprentice Witch, Dark Witch, Misfortune Wielder, Cursed Witch, Dark Warrior, Death Warrior, Apprentice Necromancer, Death Witch, Magic Swordsman, Cursed Swordsman, Black Blade Magician, Witch of Cursed Artifacts, Black Summoner, Death Mage Apprentice, Death Mage, Darkness Incarnated, Shadow Spirit, Abyssal Blackness Esper, Undead Queen. I suddenly fell onto my butt as I saw a massive window pop up in front of my face. There were dozens of jobs that emerged out of thin air, and all of them were available for me. What? I saw there was more than just Undead Queen as I continued browsing down the list, and it seemed to never come to an end, and then finally, I arrived at the bottom, noticed I saw there were at least 40 jobs. What do I pick? And wait, did my system just absorb the crystal's effect and copy-paste it? I guess that's a good way to completely ignore the rules. Okay, let's calm down. I crossed my legs and sat down on the ground, glancing at the system window and beginning to think what to pick. Jobs in this world work rather peculiarly. They're similar to equipping something. So you pick a job and then equip it. The job itself will grant a stat boost, a passive ability, and an enhancement over a certain thing or things, and then specific skills to that job. However, when you take away that job, all those extra bonus stats disappear as you replace it for others that might give you something else, which you might hold more favor for. There are also enhancements to already existing jobs, which can often emerge. They're called job rank up, and they're just better and upgraded versions of existing jobs. Usually, people use their jobs quite a lot, and due to this, it is impossible to just go on accumulating jobs for extra massive stats and new skills endlessly. You have to be decisive in what you want. And there are so many that I'm having trouble picking. Naiwa. Okay, let's calm down and think. What do I need? Using my blade. I have fun using it, but I am not exactly a blade user, so it is more of a side job, yeah. I don't want it. My magic. Yes, I can use both shadow/darkness and death magic to act as a necromancer. Also, these are my two strongest powers. What should I upgrade from these two? Darkness. Death. Or both. If I only pick one, I can specialize more and grow stronger in that direction, but if I don't, both might not grow as fast at the same time. Nonetheless, it is better to pick both anyways, as there are some insane jobs that encompass both of them. After a few more minutes of pondering this deeply, I decided to pick one of the latest and, therefore, strongest and most advanced jobs there was on the list. Ding! You changed jobs into Dark Shadow Spectral Death Spirit Queen. All your stats have increased as long as you keep this job active. You gain the passive effect of Darkness and Death Damage plus 1000, you gain the passive effect of Darkness and Death Magic Spell Casting Speed plus 100%, you learn the Elemental Spirit. LV Characteristic Skill, you learn the Spirit Queen. LV1 Title Skill, you learn the Spirit Mediator. LV1 Title Skill, you learn the Spirit Summon. LV1 Normal Skill, you learn the Shadow and Death Domain. LV1 Normal Skill, a big-ass job name, but one that came with several bonuses and skills. Delicious. Chapter 87. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I had changed jobs through the wondrous power of my system unique skill. Now, what should I do? Check my status, of course. Additionally, I got a bunch of new skills and power-up stats from it. Jobs are truly wondrous things. But I guess I am cheating because I shouldn't have a job anyway, as I am a monster and all. Haha. Nevertheless, I picked up the latest job there was on the list, one strong. Sounding in very long. Name. Maria Fuentes Bells, race. Pandora, job. Dark Shadow Spectral Death Spirit Queen, level 15 to 40, EXP 23806/28000, rank C+, status. Strengthened, cursed, HP 1220/1220, 2220/2220, MP 5200/5200, 7200/7200, plus 2720, attack 660 to 1060, plus 100, defense 530 to 930, magic 4800 to 6800, plus 2617, agility 1450 to 2450, plus 575, characteristic skills. Unique skill. Supreme Magic, unique skill. Mana Siphon, unique skill. System, unique skill. Goddess, sealed, undead. LV, dark element. LV, death element. LV, elemental spirit. LV, fiend language. LV6, shadow sneak. LV7, abyssal body. LV4, resistance skills. Status effect immunity. LV, magic damage resistance. LV7, darkness resistance. LV6, fear resistance. LV5, elemental resistance. LV4, normal skills. Ghost touch. LV7, lesser curse. LV7, life drain. LV7, possession. LV6, dark sphere. LV8, dark gale. LV7, shadow spear arrow. LV5, materialized shadow barrier. LV1, new. Shadow manipulation. LV6, Shadow Storage. LV5, Undead Healing. LV4, Fake Life. LV6, Erase Presence. LV3, Soul Eater. LV3, Stealth. LV7, Summon. LV3, Aura of Famine. LV2, Disease and Poison Creation. LV2, Pandora's Box. LV2, Materialization. LV4, Cooking. LV1, Hunting. LV1, Blade Slash. LV1, Spirit Summon. LV1, Shadow and Death Domain. LV1, Title Skills. The Dark Witch. LV, Dungeon Conqueror. LV, Big Game Slayer. LV, Taboo Mark. LV, Bringer of Misfortune. LV5, Undead Queen. LV4, Evil of the World. LV2, Pickpocket. LV2, Apprentice Swordsman. LV1, Spirit Queen. LV1, Spirit Mediator. LV1, Divine Protections. Hell's Divine Protection, I see. So I got more stats. What in the goddamn? I got so many stats. Is this legal? Is this really okay? Am I allowed to do this? Ah. Oh, thank you, gods. I will forever be indebted. I've heard that higher jobs with higher tiers/ranks give more stat bonuses, but this is a bit too much for a humble little ghost girl like me raised on a little farm in my graveyard. But anyways. The higher, the better. Nonetheless, where the heck do all these stats come from? The crystal of job changing seems to be powerful. It has influenced my system somehow and added up the surplus power required to enhance my total ability. But the thing is, a job's power is borrowed, so if I take it out, it will come out. Well, not so borrowed as it is still part of my own power, and I own it, so it could be said it is something like equipment and won't stay permanently to infinitely stack up. But if I can somehow upgrade this job and get an even higher tiered one, I can get even more stats out of it and perhaps new skills. Anyways, moving on, let's see what these new skills are all about. I am quite excited. It seems that I have become a spirit. Or something like that. The Elemental Spirit. LV, characteristic skill is like all other characteristic skills. They're like, part of my very being. It's strange for such a thing to come out of a job that can be ultimately taken out. It is as if jobs can affect the nature of a very being, but they can be easily taken out and reverted back into that very being. I had not noticed it before, but my body feels more real and, simultaneously, more mystical, as if mana is magically overflowing from all around me. How wondrous. This skill pretty much makes me an elemental spirit as much as the undead skill makes me undead. Then there's the Spirit Queen. LV1, Title Skill. This title skill seems to work similar to Undead Queen, as it helps me have a higher affinity with spirits that I might encounter. I might even have some authority over them, but I don't think it goes as far as Undead Queen, where I can quite literally force undead to obey me. The Spirit Mediator. LV1, Title Skill helps me mediate with spirits. Normal folks can't just find one and speak to them, even less search for them, so this aids me in all of this. Maybe I could find some spirits now. Or maybe not. I don't know. The Spirit Summon. LV1, Normal Skill is an interesting one. No, it doesn't let me summon a spirit out of thin air. I can only do so if I find a spirit to make a contract with, which might be hard as I don't know how to call one. Perhaps I could ask Emeraldine for help. And lastly, the Shadow and Death Domain. LV1, Normal Skill lets me create a domain of shadow and death element around a few meters around me, which temporarily enhances the power of shadow and death magic by around plus 100 per level. Also, it helps me expand my shadow and death abilities, my senses, and more within it. And even undead that belongs to my side can receive a bonus to their power by just standing on this. Considering all the above, it could be said I've acquired a substantial increase in my power, and I've totally grown stronger. Though, I hope my allies, who are monsters, have a turn at changing their jobs. But honestly, the only one I am concerned about is Lucifer. I believe partner should be able to, but Lucifer is no longer a true dragon but an undead monster, right? Huh. Well, let's hope for the best. I walked outside the room as my allies suddenly noticed the slight changes in my appearance. Partner looked at me with eyes wide open, and so did Lucifer, Emeraldine, and everyone else. Maria. Have you become some sort of spirit? You're so mystical all out of the sudden. Said Emeraldine. I am. Well, kind of. I muttered. Chapter 88. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Master. Are you a spirit? You got prettier. Said partner before quickly hugging me tightly. Wag. Okay, relax. It can be that much, right? I asked. Wow. Miss Maria, what kind of job did you change into? Asked Venia. Huh. I prefer to keep that a secret. I said. Alright, but definitely something changed. Said Emeraldine. She looked at me with even more fascination than her original gaze. It felt a bit overwhelming, especially her strong eyes. I do know that elves have an affixation with spirits, but I am not a complete one. To think that this job thing that humans have would give you such power, said Lucifer in a lower voice. Now's our turn, right? Asked Laura. Can we go? Can we go? Asked Takashi. Sure, go ahead, kids, I said. After this short meeting where we preferred to leave questions and answers for later, everyone went to slowly change jobs. The kids went first, and they were indeed able to change jobs. They chose jobs that were related to what they could do, so Takashi selected the fisherman job, while Laura selected something named Explosion Magician. Quite interesting. Meanwhile, Emeraldine changed jobs into something of even greater status than her current one, which was Spiritual Archer or something. I didn't see it in detail. Partner also changed jobs into something fitting of her spear techniques, and Lucifer also was able to change jobs surprisingly. So everyone got a bit stronger. After this, we decided to finally move out of the Adventurer Guild. We were all G.rank adventurers, with only Emeraldine being an F.rank, but it's not like we were too worried about that. The evening was already approaching, so we decided to take a quick rest stop in a nearby plaza with many people. There was a large fountain where water came spurting out, and birds gathered around to drink and bathe in it. We sat down there, and I took out some ice cream cones from my inventory, and we enjoyed some ice cream while relaxing. Soon, the night slowly approached, and that's where the moment of truth would come. But overall, this day has been pretty nice as we did all sorts of things and enjoyed ourselves. Perhaps it was just a day, but it definitely felt longer to me. I am happy to have all these friends at my side, so I don't feel alone. Partner, Lucifer, Emeraldine, these two kids, Laura and Takashi. We are already a big party. Oh well, I shouldn't ride off the rails yet. There's a lot to do before we settle down as an official party of sorts, and the kids just got here yesterday. We still have yet to clear their story arc. I read so many novels that even stuff like this I end up associating with stories. Maria, what kind of job did you get? Please tell me. Asked Emeraldine. You've been keeping it a secret for some time now, muttered Lucifer. Spirit job? Partner asked. Ugh, fine, I'll tell you, my job is Dark Shadow Spectral Death Spirit Queen. It's a long name, I said. Dark Shadow Spectral Death Spirit Queen. That's certainly the longest job name I've ever heard. Emeraldine shouted with surprise. What does this mean? Has she really become a spirit? Muttered Lucifer once again. I did get the characteristic skill named Elemental Spirit if that answers your question, I responded pridefully. PPFFFF. What? So you really became an elemental spirit of dark and death element. Plus, you're also a Pandora ghost. Shouted Lucifer. Lower your tone, you stupid lizard. I said as I smacked his head. Smack. Ugh. Incredible. Maria never ceases to amaze me. You're really going to become a spirit now. And with a job. Exclaimed Emeraldine. Cool. Shouted partner. Yeah. I think you're exaggerating it a bit. What's so different from before? Just some power-ups, but that's all. Nothing really changed, I said. What? Of course, it changed. Spirits are creatures of the world. By becoming one, you've already become part of the world too, Master. Said Emeraldine. I believe elves are a bit too fanatical of spirits. You're once again exaggerating. It is not that much. I sighed. But. Cut it out. Master is fine as she is. Said partner. I am not trying to say she's different or something. I mean, she is now, but. Ugh, okay, maybe I am going a bit too far, Emeraldine admitted with a sigh. You elves are always so obsessed with spirits and nature. Said Lucifer. Well, what's wrong with that? Asked Emeraldine. Nothing. Let's not make discussions out of nowhere, alright. Everything is fine here, I said. Anyways, I wanted to know how I can find spirits to contract, Emeraldine. I did get something like a spirit summon and spirit mediator skills, I said. Why that you did? Then it could be possible to find a spirit for you to make a contract with. Spirits usually only emerge near those they have an affinity with, so if Maria is shadow and death affinity, spirits of both elements should emerge, Emeraldine explained. I see. How the heck do I do that? I asked. Usually, I called upon my spirits in the forest. Can you see them now that you're one? Asked Emeraldine. Suddenly, two glowing lights emerged at each shoulder of this pretty elf. One light was yellowish gold, while the other was emerald green. The yellow gold light slowly took shape, resembling a shiny star, while the green one resembled a green seed with a leaf on top. Oh. So these are spirits. I said as I approached them, but the two seemed to dislike me and fear me. They even hid behind Emeraldine. Ha! You guys don't like me? I asked. Well, one is a spirit of light and the other of nature. Your primary elements are powerful, Maria, and they're the opposites of light and nature, which are dark and death. Emeraldine explained to me once again. Oh, I guess I won't be getting any light or nature spirits. Chapter 89. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Spirits. I can't get spirits. Well, I can, but only of dark and death element. The thing is, spirits of such elements are extremely rare. And no, you won't find them just laying over a corpse you just killed, or at night all of a sudden. Spirits are very special. Emeraldine said that life and nature spirits are the most common as such elements cover the entire world. So, where there is a forest, there will be spirits wandering around. After that, in areas with tons of earthy resources and ores, such as mountains, earth spirits can be found. Also, there are the volcanic lands where fire spirits might emerge, or in forests that were suddenly engulfed in fire. In the skies where strong winds come forth, or tornadoes and storms fall asunder, wind and thunder spirits might emerge here and there. Meanwhile, light spirits can be found where the light bathes life, dancing around the sunlight. Lastly, water spirits can be found in any old enough river, lake, or even ocean. Meanwhile, it is rumored that space and time spirits also exist, and even other elements, such as mind spirits, but such phenomena are not so natural, and it is hard to find them anywhere. And then, dark and death spirits, which are pretty hard to find. I would guess that in a very ancient graveyard at night, there could be chances for death and dark element spirits to emerge. But even then, it might not be as likely, said Emeraldine. So I can just sit here and bathe in the moonlight and wait for one to come? I asked. Well, you have a lot of skills regarding them and even a Spirit Queen title skill. So perhaps they might actively come to you, only if they're compatible, though. My own spirits fear your presence too much because you encompass the complete opposite of their elements, Maria.Sama, said Emeraldine. I see, I sighed. Perhaps your titles make it so you're more liked by those compatible and more disliked by those incompatible, quite troublesome, muttered Lucifer. Ugh, yeah, I sighed once more. Cheer up, Nei.Sama. You're still pretty strong, and aren't you a spirit yourself? You can be your own spirit, said Takashi. Ah, Takashi, you're such a sweetheart. I pet Takashi's little horn. Anyways, what are spirits for? Asked Laura. They're very important. They can help you conjure magic you can't use normally, act as an expansion of your own senses, bring you mana from the environment that they can absorb naturally, tell you things you can't see, such as the health of plants, and even conjure spells for you. Exclaimed Emeraldine. Ooh. They're pretty useful then, said Laura. Indeed they are. They evolve into stronger versions of themselves at higher levels and can materialize to aid you in battle as spirit familiars. This is how you use your spirit summon skill. Mine cannot fight properly yet in their true forms, but their assistance is enough. They have been with me since I was a child. Even in my harshest and most traumatic moments, they were there to help me recover. Without them, I don't know how much many pieces mine would have been shattered into. Sighed Emeraldine. She perhaps recalled the things she went through as a slave. I guess spirits can also be friends. I see. So they're pretty special. Those two little things on your shoulders. I said as I poked one with my finger, and it cried a bit in panic. Hee, indeed. They helped me hunt monsters and forage in the forest until I gained enough EXP to evolve and grow stronger so I could be of more use to Maria.Sama. She said. Your words only make me want to have my own spirit even more now. Ugh, well, maybe we can give it a shot at the graveyard in this town, but tonight night we are striking, so we better not do this for now and prepare for what's to come, I said. Wise words coming from you. You're absolutely right, the night is already almost here, and most folks are walking back home. Only some might remain within the pubs and bars, so this is an excellent opportunity to wait a bit more and then strike. Said Lucifer. By the way, where's the laboratory? Asked Emeraldine. Oh, the kids told me. It is near the house of one of the pigs I have come to kill. Come to think about it, it seems that all three of them are colluding with vampires incidentally. How funny it is, as it seems like this entire conspiracy of my family's death was made by the vampires because every human involved in it is also colluding with those bloodsuckers, I said. Why? Yeah, I guess it is all connected in the end. To think that it would come down to such a thing. I suppose it is even more justified to just kill them, sighed Emeraldine. Kill. Let's kill them to avenge your family, master. We'll make them suffer. Suffer. Chanted partner, her crimson-red eyes shining brightly as she began to drool over what their flavor of blood might be. I am always up for killing some disgraceful humans, said Lucifer, his nails growing sharper. I am also up to it. Though our level is too low to do anything significant, muttered Laura. Maybe we can cheer from the sidelines. Takashi suggested. Your help is enough. You've told us everything, which has also helped us figure out a lot of things. You guys will grow stronger in due time, but for now, you'll stay inside of my shadow storage for security, alright? I said. Inside your shadows. That's a bit spooky, said Laura. Well, it is also the safest place. Right, Sama? Asked Takashi. Takashi, you're a very smart and precious little boy. Of course, Sama's shadow is the most secure. Even if it's dark, cold, and a bit scary, there are a lot of undead friends inside, and they will all personally greet you and keep you company. I said. Yay! Takashi exclaimed with delight. Ah, Laura groaned. Chapter 90. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I want some spirits, but I seem to not have the knack for the brighter ones such as life and nature, which is rather sad, as they're also the most common. But there's no point in getting sad over it. I can still get dark and death ones, the rarest of the bunch. Ugh. Maybe I could get other elements too. Although your affinity is usually what decides which spirits will like you. But Emeraldine did say that slightly proficient spirit magicians were able to communicate and befriend spirits of even elements they were not compatible with and bring forth the power of elements they could not conjure. It was interesting to think that such a thing could be possible. Maybe I could find a rare light or nature spirit willing to become my friend. And even then, perhaps a water spirit. Or, a thunder spirit. Maybe a wind spirit. Or a fire spirit. A space and time spirit. Or. I don't know anymore. I can only hope for one to like me. Maybe I will have to show off my enchanting beauty to them. Perhaps showing off some more of my phantasmal white skin could work. I could even change my clothes into a sexy swimsuit to attract their attention. That's what spirits like, right? Who am I kidding? Perhaps they will just call me a thought and ignore me. Ack. Well, not like it matters now. We won't be getting any spirit chasing done anytime soon. We still have things to do, such as killing a crazy scientist and me getting a ton of EXP out of it. Ah, and of course, I must fulfill my destiny and avenge my parents. There are 3 little piggies here that require to be slaughtered to feed me EXP. I might as well steal their belongings and increase the level of my pickpocket title skill as well, cause, why not? Now, as the sun slowly sunk beneath the horizon, we quickly walked away from the plaza and moved to a dark alley, where the kids quickly entered my shadows, and so did everyone else. I merged with the shadows of the entire duchy, and now that it was night, everything was dark, and I could move incredibly easily through Shadow Sneak. I used it to dive into the shadows and darkness as if they were mere water to me. I swam through it and moved towards my destiny, the house of the Duke of Benetina, Duke Roberto Albrown. Of course, I wasn't going to kill him right away, so he should be thankful I was letting him live a few more hours. I was going to go to the underground facility right below his ass, the massive underground dungeon-like area that was made here way before he was born. Well, specifically, he made a massive manor atop it and then went to live there to mask the obvious experimentation facility ran by a crazed vampire halfling underneath. According to the coordinates of the kids, we should be arriving in just a few more seconds. Moving through shadows is incredibly efficient and fast. I can even skip entire buildings and pass through them thanks to my phantasmal nature. In fact, the combination of Shadow Sneak and my phantasmal body, which can pass through physical objects, is enough to let me go anywhere I want. And that's quite literally. Flash. 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 Fuhahaha. Nothing can stand before me. Flash. In an instant, I was already inside of the Duke's territory. His beautiful garden was adorned with many colorful flowers, which seemed to greet me. So this is where this aristocratic pig lives, I see. There was nobody around but a few guards. This Duke is a loner that has no family and seems to only please himself using slaves, which is what I've heard. I phased down below the ground, completely ignoring logic as I trespassed the floor itself and reached down below in an instant. There was no point in going around stairs or doors if I can just rush down below, right? It may cost tons of mana to pass through so much physical mass, but the entire Duke's army of soldiers up there gave me enough mana to achieve this relatively quickly. I reached down below and found myself in the middle of a super strange and lugubrious lab. There was a massive section where many tables were spread around. There were papers everywhere and flasks filled with strange liquids. A massive one even had fleshy bits, such as organs, and more floating in all kinds of glasses. I saw a few homunculus in the making as well, and though just a few, they looked like horrid fleshy abominations. I might as well put their souls out of their misery while I am here. This room was the largest and perhaps where he did his experiments, so. I waved my hands as I merely willed it, and using my authority as the undead queen, I grabbed the souls of all the unfortunate abominations in this place and gathered them all inside of my shadow storage. Emeraldine then immediately began to purify them and let them move to the afterlife. They don't deserve to be eaten but to be freed from this suffering in their fleshy cages, as I am a benevolent woman. I shall purify you, with Emeraldine's help, so you can have a happy afterlife. The souls began to slowly fade away into the afterlife as they flew into another plane of existence within this world. Perhaps they can reincarnate later, and have better lives. I didn't want to cage them into being undead, as they didn't seem as resentful as the other souls I often found in the forest, which most of the time are those of monsters that died brutally. All these souls were those of people this damn bastard had captured and then inserted into these fleshy abominations so these creatures could be born. They were all people, probably former slaves. Now, in just a few seconds, I freed all those within this room and decided to plunder everything else, throwing anything he had here into my inventory. Wahaha! Mine! 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 I was going absolutely mental as I gave into my devilish greed. Ha! Who's there? The voice of an old man resonated behind the massive metallic door in front of me.